This time, junkyards.
Oh! Oh!
Hey, old-timer.
Hey there, Shaq and Ted. Hope you're not too busy, because I'm wondering if you can help me out with a little problem. Only it's not so little. It's about the size and shape of a car. Actually, it is my car. It has died on me for the last time, and it would be great if you could take it to the junkyard. Here's what I want to know. How do the cars there get dismembered, crushed, and shredded into little pieces? And then what happens to the steel? Just how much heat does it take to melt that steel back down so it can be used in another car? Maybe I'll get another car. All right, but that's piqued your interest. I'll see you soon.
Well, she wants to get her a new car?
Yeah, man.
Natasha's car is ready for the scrap heap. Ted and Shaq's mission is to help her get rid of it. They want to show Natasha the whole process. So they will dismantle the car, crush it like a bug, then salvage and recycle the steel.
Usual, drain all the fluids, the tanks, the
What do
freon
they do
air.
with it all?
As always, the guys will do it their way.
Well, the plan is we're going to get Natasha's old beater in here. We'll get it up on jacks, make it safe. Well, I don't suspect much has changed, except maybe some of the more environmental concerns.
They head up to the auto records and find out about how to get rid of all the fluids.
We'll remove the gas tank. We'll make sure that the air conditioning system is removed and disposed of properly.
You know what I've always wanted to drive?
No, you're not. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
you know,
Is this your opportunity?
this is the tank, man.
The tank.
The tank, man.
You know what? I think that'll be fun. What? Why crush it? Why crush it at the auto records when we can crush it with a tank? You know, if we have to crush a car, we want to do it our way.
Their way includes stripping the car in their own shop and then renting a full-size military tank to crush it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where are we getting a tank from?
Oh, I got a friend.
Before they work their magic on the Natmobile, Ted and Shaq take a trip to an auto wrecker to find out how the professionals strip a car. First stop on the road to destruction is fluid removal.
This is our fluid evacuation area. And what happens here is vehicles come in, and we make every effort to drain all the fluids out of the vehicles. All the gas comes out and goes in these containers here, which are protected with a firewall. Yeah. And we'll go ahead and reuse all the fluids.
Air conditioning, antifreeze, windshield washer, brake and power steering fluids are drained first. About 9 liters are collected. Most of it goes to other companies for
We
recycling.
have a system here that everything gets filtered, and all of our staff here get the benefit of free gas.
Really?
On average, about 10 liters of gasoline are drained from the cars. But the big thrill for the boys is the crusher.
Oh, man, can we see the crusher?
That's the whole fun
That's
of
what we
it.
want to see, the crusher.
Can we see it?
Absolutely.
Oh, man,
Absolutely.
It will only take 45 seconds to flatten both these cars. To avoid any further ground contamination, this portable crusher is placed over a large concrete pad so that any excess fluids can be easily cleaned up.
Now, why would they make them portable? Just so more to move them around the yards more, or to put them
Exactly,
on the
yeah.
road?
Most yards don't have a crusher. For our purposes, we need it because of the volume that we're doing.
Come on, boys, put the squash on it.
Hey, you got the go button?
The go
see.
button's in the loader, so you can
Oh, is
set
it?
it on the remote.
Oh,
Remote,
fantastic.
so he doesn't even have to get out of the vehicle.
It's really something.
Remote control, man's best friend. And one that crushes things, the ultimate toy.
You can hit crush jog.
Okay, so you hit that first? Go.
That's it.
Okay, here they go. Do I hold it?
Nope, you let her go.
This unit can crush up to 100 cars per day. Then they're loaded on trucks. Their cars are transported, about 20 at a time, to a shredding company.
Oh.
Natasha wants to get rid of her old beater. Our mechanical masterminds have stripped it of fluids and painted it pink. Now it's about to be pulverized by a tank before it heads to the shredder.
Here he goes.
job on Natasha's car and flattened it much like a crusher at the auto wrecking yard. Into bits and separated into recyclable materials. Natasha, Shaq, and Ted find out how the shredder works. The real action takes place inside the machine and can't be accessed by cameras. There are a series of about 30 120-pound hammers swinging from a drum that rotates at 450 revolutions per minute. Driving it is a 6,000 horsepower motor. These hammers force the car through a screen, tearing a full-size car to pieces in about 7 seconds.
And it just chops it up into little pieces.
Really, this is actually like beef.
Tearing it
Big
apart.
T-Rex.
You got it.
What's all the smoke up there? Looks like it's on fire.
That's steam.
The friction caused by the force and speed of the shredding process makes the metal very hot. Water is injected to cool the metal and keep the dust down. This machine also retrieves metals from fridges, stoves, even steel girders to be sent to the steel mill for recycling into new steel. The guys are anxious to see the Natmobile go through the shredder. This is one task they can't perform themselves. They hand it over to the expert.
We have Natasha's car that we flattened. Unfortunately, it broke into 2 pieces, and Ted and I had to call the pros in to bring it out for us. Think you could help us out?
You unturf it, we'll shred it.
Currently, about 3/4 of a car's components are recyclable. The goal in the auto industry worldwide is to raise that to 95%. Once shredded, magnets are used to separate the different types of metals: steel, aluminum, copper, and zinc. The rubber, plastic, fabric, dirt, foam, and glass are called ASR. That's short for auto-shredded residue, which is not recyclable, so it's sent to landfill. Natasha's car is about to be pummeled by the shredder. Ted and Shaq's mission was to put an end to the Natmobile. Natasha's old car has been stripped and crushed. Now it's about to be torn to pieces before it's transported to the steel mill for recycling.
You didn't leave anything in the trunk, did you?
You were supposed to check. I didn't check.
This facility processes about 25,000 tons of metal a month. That's the equivalent of about 12,000 cars. It's one of the highest capacity shredders in North America. Once Natasha's car enters the shredder, it only takes 7 seconds to chew it up and spit out this pile of ripped up metal.
This is the steel here, is it?
Yes.
These bits. This is what's left of my car.
That's what's left of your car.
The shredder did a real number on Natasha's car. They can't find any pieces with pink paint because it's been burned and scraped off during the shredding process. But they know those pieces are in the pile somewhere. So the Natmobile hasn't escaped its date with the furnace, where it will be transformed into molten metal. Shaq and Ted head off for some new car recon, while Natasha follows the shredded remnants of her old car to the steel mill.
So, John, this is all the junk coming in then, is it? This is my car. My scrap car is going to be in here.
Yeah, there's some scrap cars in there. There's some internally generated scrap.
This container holds about 75,000 tons of steel scrap, including the pieces of the Natmobile. The scrap is poured into a furnace. And molten iron is added to speed up the melting process. This is called charging the furnace.
That is a firework display.
The furnace reaches a temperature of 1,600 degrees Celsius, which melts the scrap, lowers the carbon content of the molten iron, and removes unwanted chemical elements. The process takes about 35 minutes to create the metal soup. When the steel is melted, the liquid is tapped out, meaning poured slowly into a container called a ladle. Here, the steel can be altered to the customer's specifications. Auto manufacturing has different requirements than steel construction. Added alloying materials can give the steel special properties, such as making it more or less flexible. The ladle is then transported to the caster. That's the machine that turns it into slabs of steel.
So John, we had all that hot steel that's passed through the ladle and then through the mold, and what we've got here is huge slabs of steel.
That's the finished product.
And they're still red hot.
Still red hot, pretty much solidified. They'll get cut to size and then sent down to the hot mill where they'll be finished off, rolled to hot band, and either further processed in our plant or possibly somewhere else.
It's pretty cool that all that junk metal turns into something. It's beautiful.
It's perfect.
The caster creates slabs that are about 9 meters long and 21 centimeters thick. The pieces that were once Natasha's old car have become part of these slabs. Their next stop is the hot mill, where they are reheated and sent through the rougher. An 8,000 horsepower press that flattens the slabs to about 5 centimeters thick and 36.5 meters long. The finishing stands reduce the thickness of the steel to the customer's specs, and when it leaves the finishing area, the hot rolled steel is wound into a coil. The Natmobile is no more, but its scrap steel has been recycled into new steel, which could become an appliance, a bike, or even a new car.